Today's lesson will show you how to begin your elevation drawings for your pool house design project. First thing we're going to do is find the elevation views module, which can be a bit tricky to find actually. So if you click again in architectural design pool house, and you start at the beginning and you scroll down in the hub, and you get to elevation views folder here, click on this and it will bring you into the submodule. And there's some items here that are going to be used as a reference to help you. So we're going to start by taking a look at what our final outcome should look like based on your own design, but we're going to be presenting the paper space layout very much like you see here, where we have our front elevation, our left elevation, our rear elevation, and our right elevation. We have 4. Sometimes we refer to these as north, east, south, west. For our project, we're not really doing that because we're not doing a site plan, so we don't actually know where the pool house sits on the earth relative to your front door being either in a north position or an east position or something like that. So we're just going to refer to this as front, right, left, rear for simplicity. Here's a close-up here that I'm going to show you in a minute that kind of goes over some of our heights that we're going to be using for this project. So elevation means as if we're standing outside and looking at the building. So starting from the bottom, these 2 hidden lines here are underground. This represents your footing. Its height is not listed, but it is 6 inches high. It also sticks out 6 inches horizontally on each side of the foundation wall. So this is your foundation wall here, made of concrete. It's underground. It is dug, in this case, 4 feet high. This horizontal solid line represents grade level, meaning ground level. So everything below this line is underground. Everything above this line is above ground. The 8 inches that you see between the grade line and this line is 8 inches. This is your foundation wall sticking up above grade. So typically when you look at your home, your foundation wall sits above ground no less than 8 inches, but it could be more. It could be up to a foot. And then lastly, we're showing the framed wall height inside the pool house. So bare minimum, your wall height is 8 feet. It can be more, but no less. And our roof, which attaches on top, it actually sits and hides some of that wall height here. So the bottom of your roof, your eave here, doesn't just snap to the top of the 8-foot wall. I'm actually going to show you how to demonstrate this properly for your project when the time comes. You don't need to worry about this, but again, this is an accurate way of showing that yes, the roof will slope down and cover some of that wall height. And then this represents the roof slope and pitch chosen for this project, which will be discussed at a later time. Same with the hatching, right? So this is a hatch pattern that shows shingles. In this particular example, this is a brick and stone exterior pool house. So let's get started on how to start arranging our views. So this is where I left off with my paper space layout lesson. Now, don't move these things around, please. Because if you start moving this floor plan or this roof plan around, they're no longer going to be seen visible in the paper space layout because paper space is taking an exact snapshot all the time of where these things are sitting in model space. So the second you move this out of here and move it somewhere else, you click on this, you're probably going to see blank space here. So after the hand in that you just completed, leave these things where they are. But what I will do is copy this floor plan over here somewhere where I have another area of model space which is clean. One thing I recommend you do is draw a box around this and then group this. I've already done this, so I just did it again for your benefit. It says a group already exists. I haven't done it for the roof plan though, so I'll do that too. Group, group. Okay, why am I grouping it? Make life easier on myself when I'm copying and rotating things around. So I'm going to be copying this over to the right, copy tool, and I'm going to be copying it 4 times for each of my 4 elevations. Okay, so I'm going to put some labels on here. You don't have to put these labels on. I'm just doing it to help you. So this is going to be called the front elevation. There, I just made this 10 inches text height just so we can see it a little more clearly. I'm going to turn ortho off, and again I'm going to copy this text here, here, and here. So this is the front. I'm going to make this obviously the right. This is going to be the rear, and this will be the left. So my front elevation is already in position here, so I'm happy about this. And I'm going to be rotating this to get all my other views. So I'm going to select this, hit rotate, and this is what I'm seeing when I look at this from the left. So I'm just going to align this up a little better. I'm just going to draw a little temporary anchor line here. I'll make it something like 30 feet. And I'll just snap it here. Okay. So this is what I look at when I'm standing in front of the left side. I'm just going to go back here and take a look at that first example. So I've got my front elevation here, I've got my left elevation next to it, and then I'm going to be doing the rear and the right. It doesn't have to be aligned perfectly like I'm showing you. I'm just doing this like this just to keep on task with what I'm showing in the hub. Alright, so this one's going to be your rear. Okay. We're going to move this one there. Draw another line, 30 feet. And then we're going to rotate this one so that we're looking at this from the right side. Like that. Now that's a little close, so I'm going to move this one out a bit more. Okay. So that's how this should look. right? So you have to imagine yourself standing in all the different elevations, and then that's what you're going to be seeing. We're trying to get all those elevations projecting in one direction here, right? So when I look at this from the rear, I'm going to be standing here, and I'm going to be looking in this direction, and I'm going to be seeing my bathroom on my left, and my sitting room on my right, etc. When I look at this from the right, my bathroom will be here, and so on. Okay, so this doesn't have to be perfectly lined up like this, not even in terms of your Y value. What's important is the elevation heights. Actually, sorry, your X value, I should say. So what we're going to do is draw a line roughly underneath. Let's go back to the close-up view. Let's start offsetting our heights. All right, so we're going to begin with 8 feet. So I'm going to offset this line I drew. It's going to be 8 feet. Offset below. Next up, we have an offset of 8 inches. So we'll do this again, this time 8, no suffix. Make sure you're offsetting below and not above. So you might want to zoom in on that a bit. Lastly, we've got our foundation that continues below grade, so it's going to be 4 feet. And then lastly, we have our footing, which is 6 inches. Okay. And then the roof will be added on top of this, but we're not going to be worrying about the roof today. So what we're going to do is at the most exterior locations of our floor plans, we're going to be projecting lines so we know where these elevation views are basically going to be starting and finishing. Don't forget that you can right click and left click repeat line. Even I forget to do that sometimes. Repeat. So in this case, we got a little bump out here, so we're going all the way out to here. Then all the way to here. Okay, next activity, trim. So we're selecting all these lines that we projected vertically as our boundaries. And we're just going to trim everything in between. Then lastly, we're going to trim everything above the wall height, so that these elevations are totally in sync, lined up with their respective floor plan, front, left, rear, and right elevations. Right, so we're going to end this video right here for now, and then we're going to pick this up on showing details on the elevations next time we meet. Take care for now.